Larry Spohr with the Temple Area Development Corporation. The governor's proposed increasing taxes on the casinos by roughly 50%, from 24% up to 36% or whatever it is. Is there any support for that in the legislature? And if something like that would come to pass, would that result in a windfall to the county foundations?
I don't know that that would amount to a windfall for the county foundation in any respect. I don't know the answer to that, Larry, about the windfall of the county foundations.
Well, right now they get, is it what, 1% or 1.5% of the revenue? So
I don't know that that necessarily impacts the community foundations. It may impact the availability of funds for just contributions that the casinos make to the area that they're in. Whether there's support is an interesting question. It's being debated. There are of course people that say they will never raise a tax. Some of them have signed pledges to do that, and so that sort of puts them in a position of how do they oppose that. The governor uses that casino money to tax revenue to offset the loss of revenues that would come from his reduction of corporate tax from 12% at its peak, which, by the way, is the highest corporate tax in the nation, down to 6%. And that 6% is about, I think the numbers I've seen is at 130, 140 million, somewhere in there, and he has a $190 million tax increase from the casinos. So I would say in our caucus, the support is mixed. I'll let Dan, I don't know what his caucus might be looking at as what they're going to do with it.
We haven't really discussed it at great length yet. It hasn't come up. But I do know, like, even for our county, Crawford County over here, we're talking 0.5%. But our county is receiving $50,000 to get dispersed out to do different organizations, to help different functions of the state or the county. But when you start taking that kind of money away, that money will go away. So it will be a effect, because that's their profit line. And I don't like seeing the state government start banking its revenues on casinos. It's kind of dwelling on that end of it. I don't think that's a good revenue source to keep saying, hey, that's going to be a major part. And whether it's true or not, they're saying by giving that 6% flat tax to the big corporations, that's how they're going to backfill that, is take it out of the casinos. Whether that's how the numbers seem to match, or whether that's true or not. But it's going to. I had an email from some area schools that is going to be affected directly by those, and they're saying, hey, we're getting a lot of money out of those casinos by the state taking a lot of that revenues. We're going to be losing income to our schools. So you've got to be very careful. It's always a balancing act. Whatever the state does to drop something, we don't want to just pass it on to city and counties. That's not a tax savings. We have to be very careful how that all works. We have to keep a balancing act.
I think one of the concerns with the change, however, would be as you go up to far northwest Iowa, where they're just now trying to build a casino. I'm sure that was built on one business plan, and now all of a sudden they're scrambling to take a look at another business plan. I don't know what's going to happen on that one. I found it really interesting because I was talking to some of the folks down in the Capitol, and they said, well, they were getting all sorts of calls from representatives from the casinos, and they're saying, what can we do to scrape our clients off the ceiling, because they've just gone through the roof when they heard this was all going on. So I think there's a lot of discussion going on. I don't know what the outcome will be. Once again, though, Representative Milbar, it's on those big corporations are the ones that are earning $250,000 and up, and we have a number of them right here in Carroll County.
And also, you got to remind, this is just proposed budgets. There's nothing locked in yet. These are all ideas that are out there. Branson's bringing a lot of ideas to the table. We haven't got into the real budgeting, how it's gonna fall. I totally agree with that. These are all proposals.
It's all
proposals.
all a proposal.
We have another question.
My name's Tom Smith, and I'm just representing myself, and I'd like to know what can be done to bring the issue of same-sex marriage up for a vote by the people of Iowa.
Well, that is,
I'd be happy to answer that. Change the majority leader in the state senate.
There's no other option. I just feel like it's really sad that the people weren't asked about this. And if a judge can say, I'm issuing a right that was here before unimagined, what right could he take away and say, no, it was here before unimagined?
I concur. I think that will come over from the House. It will come out of the House. According to Senate rules, the majority leader does have the power to stop everything, and he has indicated he will do that in this particular issue. There will be another election, and hopefully we will change majority leaders, and that will come up, be passed, and give people the opportunity to vote. When you have the legislature and the judiciary, two separate branches of government, disagreeing on an issue, the people ought to have the opportunity to resolve that, period. Regardless of which side of the issue you're on, they ought to have an opportunity to vote on that. That's my position.
and on that, in the House, it's already passed, as I've told you. I broke party lines and I voted for this.
Yep.
But I will tell you this, after going through that public forum we had down there, you better be careful what you ask for, because there might be more opposition than you think out there. There is a lot of strength going the other way. That the gay industry, they want rights. They're taking rights away. So I'm just telling you, be careful what you ask for. You might get a vote, and it might not go the way you like from the people.
Well, let me respond to that. I mean, my point is the people have a right to decide.
Right.
I think we're all going to go home at the end of the vote, and the issue will be settled. The folks that are advocating the issue, I think, are missing the point. The point is there ought to be a vote. Now, maybe you and I would differ on a vote, or maybe we'd be the same. But the issue is we get a chance to vote, and I think Senator Gronstal should not be able to block that.
Well, I've been reading the Constitution lately, and it does say all political power is inherent in the people, and it seems to me that's the one group that wasn't asked. So that's why I'm bringing it up.
But as a mayor, I voted for it. So.
What other questions?